Hey y'all, I'm Krystal and welcome back to my Texas garden. Today I'm going to be working on planting my tomatoes, my eggplants, and my peppers. Now since I don't have a greenhouse right now and the weather is kind of cold, I want to make sure that I use some sort of makeshift greenhouse. The first thing we need to get started on today is our makeshift greenhouse. All right, y'all, since I just discovered that the camera messed up and y'all didn't catch me doing any of this, this is just a very kind of rough greenhouse alternative. If you don't have a greenhouse, like I don't have a greenhouse this year because it is tore down. And I'm trying my hardest to also block out the wind. It's mighty, mighty windy today. Again, we've got a cold front blowing through. So we've got a low of 39, and these peppers and tomato seeds, they don't like to be cold. So we want to trap some of the daytime heat in. So what I've done is to this table out of my greenhouse is I've put two layers of plastic down. Because you can see that the reason why I did that is because we've got big slats in here in between the wood. So that when I would water the plants in the greenhouse, the water wouldn't sit on the wood, it would drain down. So I put two layers of plastic down here, stapled that down. And then up on top, it's just one layer of plastic. And I'm just holding it down. This is crude, y'all. This is really crude. I'm just holding it down with some wood. I do have some staples in here because, like I said, the wind is really, really rough today. And I'm trying to block out as much wind as I can from up underneath here. So I'm just holding it down with some wood, as you can see, all the way around. So this will help keep moisture and heat inside here, inside this little capsule here. And when I need to come in with the spray gun to water them, I can just remove the sticks here. Let's go get some tomato seeds in the dirt. So we have our seed starting mix right here, and it's already has some water added into it. Now I want to go ahead and add more water in. I want this well watered before I put it into the little grow bags. And just mix it on up. You could use your hands if you wanted to. All right, after it's all mixed up, this is about the consistency that we want. You see it's got water in it, just like that, and it kind of holds together. So that's what we're looking for there. All right, so these are the little grow bags that I'm using. I found these on Amazon, and I will link my Amazon store below. You can go check them out. This, I think, is the smallest size. It's like 4 inches long by 3 inches wide. They make another size up from this that I actually prefer, but I had these and nothing goes to waste. The size bigger actually kind of has a flat bottom, makes it much easier to put into our tray. So, I mean, literally all we do is I'm just using a kitchen spoon, a teaspoon, and we just put the soil in, and I mean, that's that simple. Now these grow bags, they are biodegradable, and supposedly the roots can grow through this cloth, and you can see it's real thin. The roots should be able to poke through this really easily. I am not a huge fan of leaving grow bags or anything like that on the plant when I put it into the ground. So me personally, I am going to cut this grow bag off and just kind of throw it onto the ground and put the plant in the ground without the grow bag. But it's your garden. You can do whatever you want. That's just what I'm going to do because that's just what I prefer. I've seen in the past where plants look a little stunted because the roots were having to fight their way out of this. And there's enough problems in the garden between bugs and weather and everything else. I don't need to hinder their growth anymore. And once you have them all full in your tray, you're ready to plant your seeds. All right, so next I grab my mini blind recycled labels, and I've got them all labeled right here with the different varieties of tomatoes that I'm actually planting today. And I'm just going to stick those in here. And last but not least, all right, Now let's get these tomatoes planted up. Tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants. They're all going to be planted at about 1/8 of an inch deep. So it's not very deep at all. And that's actually the reason why we have to kind of keep it watered with the spray gun. Because 1, you don't want the seeds to shift around. 2, because they're planted so shallow, it's easier for them to dry out. And I'm just going to press this soil down just a little bit. And I'm just going to be putting 1 seed per cell. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the brand of seed, then I recommend going with multiple seeds per cell. I am familiar with Mary's Heirloom Seeds, which is this is what I'm planting right now. And I do know that I have a really great germination rate. So I'm just going to put 1 per cell. But I think the general rule of thumb for a lot of people, a lot of growers, to do 2 or 3 per cell. Now, a lot of these varieties, I'm actually only going to put 1 or 2 or 3 in my garden at a time. The rest, if I have them, they will be either gifted or sold off. It's really important to match up the label to the seeds. You see, I grabbed this pack of seeds right here, and actually what I should have grabbed was this pack of seeds right here. So be very careful of that. All right, so now we're going to take some of our pre-moistened soil, and we're just going to put it on top, and you want to go about 1/8 of an inch deep. You don't want to put too much soil on top. And give it another press. So because everything was pre-moistened, I really didn't have to water it that much. I did add a little bit of water with my hands, but that's why I pre-moistened the soil. That way I don't have to do a big water after the seeds go in. So let's take this out to the area where I have got a makeshift greenhouse. Let's go check it out. Okay, so before I close this back up, we have got a total of 16 different varieties of peppers. And we have 13 different varieties of tomatoes, not including our tomatillas and our ground cherries. And then continued with the tomatoes and one little row of cilantro. Okay, so we're all closed back up. And we're not going to open this back up until the little cold snap we've got going on right now is gone. And honestly, that's it. A little ingenuity, a little time, a little patience, and we've got a makeshift greenhouse for our peppers, our tomatoes, and our eggplants. Now, I told y'all back there in the garden that I had 19 varieties of peppers, and I do. And I have 13 varieties of tomatoes. That does not include my ground cherries or my tomatillas. There is 3 different varieties of those. But what I forgot to tell y'all is that I have 3 different varieties of eggplants. Like I've said before, if y'all lost your seedlings during the freak polar vortex, it's not too late to restart them again. You definitely can restart them again. And if you've never started tomatoes, peppers, or eggplants, y'all, I used to be so intimidated by it. I thought you actually had to do something special to get the tomatoes and peppers to grow. I thought literally you had to be a professional, and me, a simple gardener, had to buy them from the nursery. Yep. Boy, I learned a quick lesson the first time I ever put a Roma tomato seed in some soil. Now, if I can do it, y'all can do it. Let me know below what y'all have got going on in your garden, greenhouses, and makeshift greenhouses.